Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Yolande if you're new here. So today I'm going to do the final part of my 3-part Top Boy review. Today I'm going to talk about Jamie. So Jamie is one of the leaders of one of the rival gangs in Top Boy. We didn't start off seeing him as, he was just a member of the gang when we started to watch it. It was kind of between him and a guy called Leighton. A few things happened which changed the dynamics of the gang, which included Jamie getting rid of their drug suppliers, and then it was between him and Leighton. And there's a scene where we just see him kind of take the responsibility on and say, right, I'm leading now, and this is me, this is my gang, and which didn't go. I don't think it sat well anyway with that Leighton, which is why we see him go in the direction he went. Later on in this, I think Jamie, him being the member of that gang, I don't think for him, in some way probably, but I don't think fully for him it was about being like the big guy, like being the guy on top. I think for him, having big responsibility is just a normal thing. So I think that he just took that on because he feels that's what he's supposed to do. I don't think he's a follower. I think naturally he feels like a leader because of his personal circumstances at home. You see him kind of being the parent to his 2 younger brothers because they've lost their mum and their dad, and he lost them pretty young. When he was 18 they passed away, so I feel like he's had to take on responsibility very early on anyway, so I don't think that was anything new to him. So I feel like that it's just something that he naturally felt was for him. I think I think he takes responsibility for the things and the situations around him really well. We see when that girl got shot after she tried to go on a date with him, and then he kept getting the phone calls from the phone. No, I think naturally in that situation, I don't think it would be sensible for someone to pick themselves up and go to a hospital after what's happening because he's linked to that crime. But you see him naturally going, and I feel like that's the side of him which is still quite naive. So I'm going to speak about that shortly, but I feel like Jamie still has a side to him which is very childlike and very childish and very immature, and not immature, yeah, very immature. When I say immature, I don't mean in a really negative way. I mean just not matured, because he still has like this childlike quality about him. So he goes to the hospital, and then obviously he's face to face with her dad, who's kind of brought him there to kind of teach him a lesson, like this is what happens to people when they get involved with someone like you, or this is what the crimes that you commit do to people. And I think Jamie's very, very much aware what his lifestyle brings. I think he's very much aware of that. I think this is why he protects his brothers the way he does, because he knows what can happen. And I think that dad saying that to him, like, I think he said it to Jamie, kind of feeling like Jamie's never lost anything, but I think that's the complete opposite, because Jamie knows what it's like to lose something which is really dear to you. So I think in that moment he could understand and he could empathize a lot with that father. But he's face to face with someone who's actually a real dad, in the sense of biologically this is his child, and stuff, where Jamie has got the responsibility of a father. So it's more like a choice. Jamie has a choice to be the father, which I think he's a great father anyway. I think we see that scene with him in his brother's room, giving his brother that sex education talk. And he kind of says to his brother, I'm your father. And his brother's like, no, we're a team. But I think in that situation, Jamie's kind of letting him know, like, no, I'm your dad. I'm your mother. I'm your big brother. Like, Jamie feels like he is everything in that. And he has a lot of responsibility. And I think I realised that he had a lot of responsibility when his little brother saying, what about you? What about your love life? And Jamie was saying, he kind of said it would be nice to have a bit of a love life, but don't worry about me. That's usually what you hear like a single parent say. Like, I don't have time for anything else. I'm busy working. I'm busy being, a mom. I'm busy being a dad. And it's kind of sad because he's really young. And at that age, being so young, guys that age and in that lifestyle, obviously they're doing everything which comes with that lifestyle, but I don't think he gets to enjoy the fruits of whatever comes with that lifestyle. Anyway, I think in the other sense, he is quite childish in some senses. I think I saw that when he went to the parents' evening. Usually, when you go to a parents' evening, especially with black parents, if you mess up, they're not backing you at all. They're not backing you. They're not sticking up for you. So if your teacher says you've been misbehaving, you're getting a side eye, and that side eye means we're going to have a conversation when we get home. But I think you see when Steph brings him to the teachers, and they get to that teacher where Steph isn't very fond of him, he's not very fond of Steph, and Jamie has like a stern word with that teacher, to where you see the teacher changes his stance to Jamie and kind of says, okay, I'll work with Steph a bit more. It's not kind of Steph, it's me. That was weird. That was weird, because you don't see that with black parents. You don't see that, because when education's taken really seriously. So when you go to school, your parents are looking to hear perfect from every teacher. So his reaction just wasn't the same. But I think that was just a childish way, because I feel like something in him just didn't click with that teacher. I feel like he probably had a teacher like that, being so young himself. So I feel like something naturally just didn't click between him and that teacher. So he wasn't very mature in that scene. I feel like Jamie is, as a parent, I think he's amazing as a parent. It's really weird, because one of the scenes that him being so young and having so much responsibilities, the whole household is a young household, and one of the things that I thought was amazing is how he's got the balance right. He managed to shelter his little brother Steph quite a bit, because Steph just kind of thought, my big brother's at work, my big brother looks after me. But you see those scenes where he later finds out, when he's like, is Jamie a roadman? Is Jamie a roadman? Because obviously Ats is like, everyone knows apart from you that your brother is a roadman. Which is quite sad. It's quite sad how he found out. But I think it's usually, you see like sophisticated criminals in films that manage to shelter the kids and shelter the whole family from the life that they live, the crime life that they actually have. And I think to say where they're from, where they live in, for him to hide that so well from Steph and have him quite sheltered is really beautiful to me. Which shows how much he cares, but how much he is actually trying. Jamie doesn't really have anyone. Like, he doesn't have a girlfriend. He's saying, I haven't got much time for that. He hasn't got anyone at all. You see the later scenes where he meets the Irish woman who's the connect, and then he kind of starts to take interest in her. I don't think the interest he takes in her is just fully like attraction, or he's sexually attracted to her. I don't think it's that. I think Jamie's seeking a mother in someone. She's a much older woman. Sometimes what you do see in kids, sometimes when they don't receive like the nurture from their caregiver, they tend to seek it elsewhere. That's why you hear people say daddy issues, mummy issues, and Jamie has a little bit of that, you can see in here. I'm sorry if I didn't use the right term. And obviously he becomes like sexual with that woman, but she keeps rejecting him, which it wounds me every time, because I can just imagine that to be so painful. He is looking for nurture from somewhere, because he got thrown into like a massive responsibility, losing his mom, losing his dad. You see him keep going to her, but she keeps turning him down. And I do think she understands slightly what she's doing. I feel like she kind of took the piss and kind of took advantage a little bit, because they have that conversation in the car when she's assuming that he comes from a broken home. But Jamie isn't from a broken home. Jamie's from a home where it's a two-parent home. So he knows what a family environment is, which is why I feel like he does the work he does. But she actually, she knows, she says to him, is your mother Like, how did you lose your mum? She knows, she can tell that this kid is looking for something more, but I feel like she doesn't. I don't know, it's just a part of the game. It's just a part of the game, I guess. I feel as well as him looking for a kind of mother in someone, that nurture from a mother in someone, I feel like he also is kind of looking for a partner, because he wants to give his children, his little brothers, he wants to give them a proper home. And I think him having really great family values, we see when he arranges for them to have dinner together, and he says to his brother, I've got a surprise for you. Then he brings his brother's girlfriend to the dinner. And I think that's really nice, because that's something that your parent would do to surprise you. So he does things to look after them. And I feel one of the saddest scenes for me, and one of the first scenes where you see someone kind of support Jamie, the best that they can, is the scene when he finds out that obviously the police has his brothers, is when he goes to the park bench where he used to go with his mom as a child, and he goes there and his friend comes there, and I absolutely love that friendship between them, because that guy rides for Jamie, and he goes there and he just breaks down crying, and then his friend embraces him, so they hug each other. And I feel like that's the scene that you see him the most vulnerable in. Like, that's one of the most vulnerable scenes in there, because he hasn't got anyone to turn to. I feel like he has the responsibility, like he has such a big responsibility, he cannot mess up, or he feels like he cannot mess up, and he has messed up, which means if he messes up, his brother's lives are messed up. And then you just see him break down crying, and that's the only scene where you see him get any kind of support. I think this character is absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to actually see what else there is for him, because he's new in Top Boy, so I can't wait to see what the next season brings for Jamie and like who he becomes. But it was really sad to see the home that he has worked so hard to protect, because I feel like everything he did was to protect that home. Is really hard to see that get kind of torn apart, and that's why I speak the way I do after Shane. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and this is my final one. Please like if you enjoyed the video, leave your comments below and give me your outlook on things. Bye.